If you use this new strategy on Kil'Jaeden, you're gonna see your numbers giga shoot up. You're about to pump so much DPS that you're gonna kill this boss so much faster than you ever expected, and you're gonna see some insane parses. But also, if you're struggling on this fight, this is gonna make things a lot easier for you guys. And if you're curious about what I mean, well, let's dive right in. Okay, so first off, I'm gonna call this kind of a cheese strategy for Kil'Jaeden, but in all actuality, there's nothing really necessarily cheesy about it. It's just us utilizing the mechanics of the fight better and dealing with everything a little bit better. We're gonna see some crazy parses because we know the fight better than we did when it first came out, and then our experiences on the PTR. The first thing you want to know, and this is massively important, is that Bloodlust does not stack with the haste buff for physical DPS from the dragons. We initially thought it would be best to Bloodlust after 55% on this boss while you're trying to have that as well as the haste buff up as often as possible. But that is not the case whatsoever. If you are a melee DPS or if you're a hunter, you do not want to have Bloodlust rolling at the same time. Although this isn't really the case with casters, it does stack for them, I'm pretty sure. But if you're a melee DPS, you don't want to be getting Bloodlust at any of the later times in this phase. What you want to do now is actually open up with Bloodlust while you have all of your actual CDs. Hopefully your tank can get some pretty good threat, so you might want to lust him or MD into him, but you're going to want to open up with Bloodlust so you can see some crazy numbers on the opener. And then if you have a Giga Pump group, you're going to also want to get a second Bloodlust onto them. Then what we're seeing, the cheese strategy is going to be to fully stack up for the first dragon and never spread out. Stay fully stacked up the entire time. You can see that everybody spreads out in this one, but this was the first time I tried to get my guild to do this strategy. And the only time you're going to spread out is when you get the Fire Bloom. So everyone is going to have full uptime of the dragon buffs unless you get the Fire Bloom. And this means you're going to pump the boss down to 55%. The only fear is if you get the Fire Bloom and you don't move out fast enough, you will kill your raid. So you do want to have something like a weak aura, like a Fire Bloom tracker, just kind of showcasing when Fire Bloom is going out for yourself. And I do have a weak aura, you just saw it on screen, that I can share with you guys in my Discord channel. Shout out to Thames, who made this for me really quickly. And he makes insane weak auras, as you probably all know. But everyone else is staying stacked up. If you spread out slowly and hit the rest of the raid with 2 of your Fire Blooms, you will kill the raid. So you do need to run out and spread out, but you're not worried about anything like flame darts, and you're gonna push to 55% again before you even finish your first dragon, which people are already hitting that threshold. But that means you need a second person ready to pick up the second dragon, while the first person can still do a couple more breaths before the dragon actually kind of expires, and then they can go and pick up the next dragon at the final threshold, 25%. Usually you can push 4K plus DPS on this fight, especially maintaining it quite significantly throughout the fight if you can have Bloodlust rolling all the way until you have the dragons, and then just sitting there in the dragon buffs and bloodlusting your casters from then on. The only fear of this strategy is purely if people don't move out quickly, and again, this is only on your phase from your first dragon to the second phase. You don't have to worry about the Armageddons falling down on your raid. Eventually we might see people staying fully stacked up for the rest of the time, but with Armageddons it can be a little bit more sketchy. So it's only happening on the first dragon from 85 to 55%, and the only downside is if people are slow to move out. And even in GDKPs, we were able to full clear this and pull off this strategy perfectly on our first attempt. So this is with pugs that struggled on a few fights. We actually wiped on Kelikos multiple times in this pug. But if you can get people to spread out and then the rest of them to stay stacked, they're going to have so much more damage, and we're going to see some insane parses. You're also going to push through the first phases all the way to 55% a lot smoother. You only have to worry about that one breakpoint, 55 to 25, because after 25 you have 2 dragons, two, and you're basically going to be permanently hasted from then on. Usually it's basically a kill. Anyways, guys, this is my second to last video for TBC. Most likely the melee weave guide will come out on Monday. Officially it is done, so make sure to like and subscribe for that. But we're moving on to Wrath of the Lich King class guides coming next week. Good luck out there, guys, and I'll see you all on the next one.